online dating. What's the craziest thing you've had to do or have seen while online dating at their house or whatever, or being pegged or something like that? Because you're gross, Bryant.
No, it's not even that. I'll save mine for last. What's the craziest thing you've had to deal with online dating?
I don't online date.
Okay, so you got married before online dating was a thing, yeah.
Tay.
Met a serial killer.
Oh, how sketch is that though? To be like, hey, how's it going? You want to come over, and you get chopped up, bro.
That's
Possible.
That's why I give all my information up front. Send my driver's license, all 3 kids' names, social security number. Here, you can look me up.
Yeah, no, I prefer having first and last name. That way I can look people up and get at least a little bit of a backstory. And yeah, if not, I mean, there's always outside going for coffee, like I mentioned.
Meeting at a public place is smart.
In the public.
Yeah.
Yeah, public places
Especially
is very smart.
then, too, you can figure out if you like them or not, and then further go into, do I want to carry this on or just leave it at that? Because you can pretty much get a creepy vibe first off, you know?
I'm just want to smell you. It's like, oh, yeah, you're creep.
Yeah, I
Creep
definitely
alert.
took a major risk with some of the women I invite over to my house for a first date. But I do live behind gates and did not give out the code. I would just pop.
That is so
I would
true.
like use the clicker to let them in, and
Smart tip.
that way, you know, they knew where I lived, but they couldn't necessarily access it. Who am I kidding? They could just follow someone in, but anyway, I'm not worried. Like I say to everybody, the lock on the door is for their safety, not mine.
So, what's the craziest thing
Okay, so
Bruh.
craziest date for me.
at your house?
Nope.
Oh.
Nope.
Oh.
Not even at my house. Not at my house.
At her house.
Ended up there.
Gee.
Unfortunately, but here's the thing. So, you want the long version or you want the abridged? Because
I want the juicy version.
okay, all right. So, matched with. This was on Tinder. Matched with a faceless Tinder profile. Don't ask me why. I just there wasn't even much information either as far in like in the bio.
Your face.
It wasn't okay. It wasn't one of those things where it was just swipe. Like that wasn't it. Something piqued my interest, and so spoke with this person who informed me that they were not putting their identity out due to the fact that they were not completely divorced and currently dealing with that and all that. So I was understanding of that and whatever. Spoke with this person for probably 10 days, kind of off and on, like every other day, maybe would have a, bit of a conversation, and they opened up to me and built some trust and whatever. And so, and informed me that their profession was as a therapist. And I thought, oh, okay, I see a therapist at that time regularly. So they're, for the most part, they're trustworthy and good people, right? So I thought, all right, this could be, and then also something that I looked for was, someone that had a good job and, could care for themselves and, someone that wasn't looking to me to, to support them. Anywho, we set up a date. Date was, in Riverside. Decided to meet at this little bar right across from the Mission Inn. Cool little bar. Just drinks. No, we didn't commit to any dinner or anything like that. I had explained prior to us meeting that I was trying something different and was going to try and take things kind of slowly, because in the past I had, rushed into things and basically letting her know that I wasn't going to sleep with her on the first date, and that I was looking to kind of change things up.
You?
Yeah.
Sheesh.
Yeah, it was, trust me.
Oh, shit.
But-
it was so
but when
hard.
But
it
when,
was so
that's what she said. when you've had as much, whatever you want to call failure or lack of success, you unless you're insane, right? The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over, expecting a different result. If you're not insane, you think, okay, I need to change things up. So that's what I was doing. Anywho, date went well. We had like 2 drinks at this bar. I obviously had an hour plus drive home, and had work. Excuse me, had work the next day, and so I was good with saying goodbye. And she seemed like she was okay with, or she seemed kind of happy at the fact that I didn't want to sleep with her on the first date while we were discussing it. And so I walked her to her car, as any gentleman would do. Walked her to her car. She asked me to get in her car and sit with her and make out with her. And I'm like, that's probably not a good idea, because it's probably that's what leads to more, And she begged. It went.
So she a beggar.
It went from oh, it's okay, I won't take it too far, and this and that, we can have control, and this, to please, will you please get in my car, like make out with me, and which
Bro, that's a red flag.
I think it's
huge red
definitely
flag.
because you showed that you had control. But
which then I gave into,
Lost.
because I'm a sucker. I am. I will tell you right now, I have a savior complex, where I, if there is emotion shown, or if there's something, something wrong, or something somebody needs help with, especially female, I feel obligated to help. So, anyways, I got in the car, made out with her. Shortly after that, her pants came off. Not
in the
by
car?
Yeah. Her own doing. She was sitting in the passenger seat of her car. I was in the driver's seat.
She was
It was
ready?
like an older Civic, and
Oh, no.
and we're in a parking garage, right? In this parking garage, and she's got no tint on the windows, and there's like these kids skateboarding in this parking structure, like right where we were, and her pants come down, and I'm like, no. I'm like, no, absolutely not.
You said no.
I said no. Yeah. I said no because
Control right there.
I wanted. I was trying to do things differently. So
You were in love? No, it's okay. Sorry.
that it's funny that you mentioned that. That comes up later in the story. So, anywho, so
She's like, bro.
I deny her, and she basically she starts to cause a scene, and I'm thinking in my head,
That's a setup.
I'm thinking in my head, oh my gosh, these kids are gonna see something, hear something. The cops are gonna come. Something's gonna happen where it's gonna be all bad. I'm gonna be in trouble for something, right? Because I have no alibi. I have nobody to back me up to say I didn't do anything, right? And so she basically says, okay, well, let's go back to my place. I'll stop crying and whatever. and screaming, and yelling, and if you agree to go back to my place. And I said, okay. She's like, come back to my place and have a drink. I said, I will come back to your place and have one drink.
You're like in separate cars.
Yeah, in separate cars. And so I thought about, on the way there, her place was like 5 minutes from where we were, and she rented a room because I guess their marital home was in Lake Arrowhead, and they split time at it. Like when they had custody of the kids, they would be there and the other one wouldn't. So anyways,
Well, you're enough.
so the reason why I didn't just leave from right there, just go home, is because I thought that the consequences could be dire, especially if she, people had seen me getting in the car with her, and then, if she had made a claim of something, it could be bad, and I would have nobody to back me up, anyways. So I went over there I went over to this place, and
I would have went home. I would have gotten in my car. Hey, I'm right behind you. Oh, I turned right instead of went straight. Out. Bro.
yeah, yeah. So I followed her to a place, and we're, she makes us a drink. I'm kind of trying to discuss with her how crazy it was that she pulled this, like, hey,
You don't call the crazies crazy,
like,
my guy.
no, I didn't necessarily say that, but I was like, hey, what's going on? Are you, what's the root cause of this? And hey, aren't you a therapist? Shouldn't you seek therapy? She told me what her issues were, and admitted to knowing what they were and just not addressing it. And
Open communication is key.
Commenced to basically pulling the same thing as she did in the parking structure, where she started crying and asking me to, perform sexual acts on her. To which I was opposed. But I also have this savior complex. So at the same time, I'm like, okay, I'll do this for you.
Well, she probably had a hidden camera up in this.
I'll do this for you. Then she would have gotten all of it on tape, and I would have been exonerated if anything was.
No, that's evidence.
I would have been exonerated if it was used as evidence, because then it would show her basically raping me. Anyways, so she cried, she threw a fit, and so I agreed, and I went down on her, right? I wasn't going to have intercourse. I wasn't gonna bang her, right? And it would
allegedly
it wouldn't have worked anyways, because of the situation. Like, my head wasn't in it either, but
for men, it's not really in it most of the time.
Well, I'm a different breed. Anyways,
I don't think you would.
Anywho, so went down on her, and like right before she was gonna finish, she told me, she goes, "I need you to say I love you in order to finish."
I would have walked out the door.
And I'm like,
deuce.
I'm not really comfortable with that. I don't want to say that. Like, I don't want you to misconstrue it or whatever. Like, at this point, I don't know why I'm thinking she has any sense, right?
Because she's a therapist.
And so I gave therapists way too much credit back then. Since then, I've realized that they are some of the craziest people. Anyways, so I tell her I love her.
Oh,
and
you fell for it.
And she finishes, and I like kind of quickly gather my things and leave. I kind of like lingered a little to make sure she was like okay and I wasn't gonna be pulled over like a mile down the road, ask why, and she's like, oh, well, can I see you again? Well, I'm like,
blocked.
Yeah, let's figure something out. I don't know what my schedule is for the next week, but we'll figure something out. She calls me 15 minutes later. I'm on my way home. I'm driving home.
Tripping.
I'm driving home, and when she calls me, I realize I didn't block her number yet. So yeah, that was a pretty crazy. That was the only time in my life that I felt I was kind of, I guess rape isn't the right word, but like, I don't know, maybe, I guess, yeah, rape. That was the only time in my life that I felt I've been kind of forced to do something against my will sexually. And yeah, that's the reaction that I usually get.
But that makes no sense because you acted on her. Right,
but I had made it known that I didn't want to, and then was basically blackmailed or made to feel guilty for not, and did it in order to kind of
hush her up,
make her feel better. So,
well, not hush her up.
That's fine. That's all I have to say about that.
it.